Hi, I'm Steve Morgan, and I'd like to thank you for signing up to my Positive Risk Taking membership site, and I hope it's going to be packed full of resources that are going to be useful for you, whatever your role, whether you're a practitioner, a manager, whether you're involved in training. I aim this to be the first of many very brief videos which are kind of how to do videos, occasional brief reflections. And as this is the first one, I want to focus on the main message of what the whole site is about. This site is really a labour of love that reflects back over 30 years plus of working as a practitioner, trainer, and in many different guises, with an interest and a focus on risk, with an interest in thinking about how and why we take risks. And that's why it's called Positive Risk Taking. That's an idea or a concept or a few words that I came up with back in 1994, reflecting some of the work that I was doing as part of a team, intensive case management team, and reflecting on the kind of challenging work, the challenging decisions that we were making. So yes, this whole membership site is about risk. It's about how you work with risk. But there is that added element of focusing in on positive risk taking as I blow in the breeze. Let me just remind you that I'm not talking about positive risk. The word positive only exists in that phrase if we can be clear of the outcomes. This is all outcome focused. Why do you take a risk in your life? Well, largely because you can think of some benefit that you're going to gain. It gives you a motivation. You're able to see past the negativity of the risk. So as this membership site is set out, that will help you to reflect on your own mindset and how you think in terms of risk-taking or risk aversion. Part of the site is then geared to helping us to reflect on how we assess the risks. If we're going to take risks, how do we make an assessment of the risks before we take that plunge? This is carefully thought through risk decision making. This isn't just taking a chance. It's very much about challenging decisions, and so it's about how you involve other people. We're all going to be more risk averse if we take decisions entirely on our own. And I'd like to think my unique focus on risk is because I bring that strengths approach to blend with it. And if we're going to take risks, then we really do need to be fully appreciative of the strengths that we're working with, not just the risks that we're facing. So as practitioners, in that role, I want you to remember that positive risk taking, look at those words in reverse, taking risks for positive outcomes. So the positive is not about the risk, it's about the outcome. And it's about us being very focused and detailed, not broad generalizations, really focused on what outcomes you want to achieve, or indeed in your practitioner role, in health, social care, people that you're working with, people you're working for. Can you help them to define very specifically what it is that they see as an outcome that they want to achieve, that we can then work together in order to take the risk, in order to achieve that outcome. So that's the big message. The membership site is essentially about risk decision making, but the big message is about an outcome focus. Well, I'm coming to you here from Louis Armstrong Park in New Orleans, with the gentle breeze blowing me around. So I can assure you that was not the most difficult decision I've ever had to make, and I'm sure if anybody's been here or thought about this place, you'll have a good idea of what those outcomes are. Me thinking in terms of food, fabulous food, incredible music, loads of different kinds being played on street corners in every bar by incredibly talented musicians. What was the risk? Well, I've come here on my own. So how do you come to a very social and sociable city on your own? Well, the answer's there in the phrase. It's a social and in particular a sociable city. So I'm making good connections with fabulous people from around the world as well as locals, and I'm going to draw this to a close because I'm sure as a first video you don't want to be hearing about my travelogue, but the message is positive risk taking is about identifying those positive outcomes and seeing the risks that we are prepared to take, will take, in order to achieve those outcomes. Thank you for watching, listening, reflect on the message, and I'll come back to you again. In the meantime, keep considering taking those risks.